the real reason we're here tonight. The real reason we're here tonight is in support of an incredibly important cause. Given the events of the last week, I find it even more important to focus our attention on helping those who could easily be left behind. And her Resiliency Center is exactly the change agent for that. Strengthening our community from the ground up and helping each other channel our fears into positive action is exactly what we need to do now. My friend, Natasha Wines, founded her because she knows firsthand what it's like to struggle after a childhood of abuse and neglect to become a successful, thriving adult. The proceeds from tonight will go directly to help her Resiliency Center provide services and support and tools to the young women who need to turn their lives around as they enter adulthood. I hope you're enjoying the beer and food donated by Blue Jacket. I hope one of you, several of you, win baskets from Bumble and Bumble. I hope you enjoy the music from my husband. Enjoy the music by my husband, Jason Petto, and our friend David Rich. But first, I'd like you to join me in raising a glass to Natasha and all the work that her Resiliency Center does.
Yay!
Yay.
I really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for coming here tonight. You know, this isn't the first form of support that Mercedes or Trim has given to her Resiliency Center. Mercedes came and talked this summer to our young women at our employment empowerment workshops about the importance of professional attire and dress. We're really grateful for that. You know, throughout telling my story, I focus on the importance of women who helped me through my drug and alcohol addiction recover and the guidance and the support that they gave me. Her Resiliency Center is no different in the way that we need, that we're looking to strong women to step forward and help us be able to thrive and help the peers grow, the women we serve grow into successful adults. So thank you very much for your support. So as mentioned, I'm Natasha Wines, the founder and president of her Resiliency Center. You know, I wanted to be president when I was a kid, and this is kind of actually president. And so, you know, I'm going to take a few minutes to introduce her Resiliency Center, who we serve, why we serve, and the impact that we're making already. Her Resiliency Center is an organization for young women ages 18 to 25 overcoming various forms of hardship in their lives. The vision for the organization came out of my own experience as a young adult woman. My own trauma, loneliness, desperation, and lack of connection to the world left me vulnerable to exposures such as prostitution, drug and alcohol addiction, homelessness, and violence as a young woman. But it was through my own recovery that I began to see that these struggles were not specific to me, but that many young women lacked the positive guidance and support they needed to be successful. The stories are real, and I know I'm going to tell you just a little bit about myself a little bit more, but you know, the stories are real. For myself, my loneliness came out thinking I had to do everything myself because the people I depended upon either hurt me or were unavailable, and I couldn't trust. And as I spiraled out of control because of the drug and alcohol abuse and the involvement in the commercial sex industry, I had a slight glimmer of awareness that if I didn't change my life, I was going to be dead by the time I was 22 years old. But I want to ask, why do we need to wait for any young woman to reach such levels of desperation before we're willing to show them kindness and respect and compassion they need to get, not just to thrive, but to live and fully get to be a part of this community? I've seen the devastating effects that a young woman who has fallen through the cracks has endured in their early 20s, only to reemerge in their 30s, well, I'd say 40s, 50s, and 60s, and as a society we look at them and say, why didn't you get your act together? I'm sure you've seen them too outside the homeless shelter, in the parks, on the corner, sometimes asking to bum a cigarette. I know this is not everybody, but there's a good chance that a lot of these young women, or these women, didn't get to have a network to help them, to catch them as they were falling. And in her, we have very few requirements for joining our organization and getting our support. And that is that we both want, that the women both want and need our support. Because we want to create a culture of prevention that catches them before they fall to the ultimate bottom, which would be death. I'm pretty extreme here. So, but it's so true, you know? And so, and I know that the one-on-one support and care, mentorship, and skill development workshops that her provides works. And I know that it works because this is the same individualized time and attention that was given to me when I was their age to help me get on my feet. And it's by only going through these struggles, though, that I was able to conceptualize and figure out an organization that meets the needs, fills the gaps for these young women. Hers is the only organization I've started. So to be honest with you, I don't have something to gauge our progress against. But I'm pretty sure we're moving at warp speed. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about what that looks like. At the beginning of this year, I sat down with a couple of board members and I asked them, they asked me what I wanted the year to look like, how many young women I wanted to serve, and just to map it out. And I said I wanted to serve 25 young women by the end of the year. And by this and we opened in February. So by this summer, we had met that goal and exceeded it in our skill development workshops. Some people may think that 25 isn't a big number, but for us, there's two full-time, myself and Sarah. Sarah, where are you? Okay, Sarah, who's out there, as my one full-time staff person with me, and Shariza, who is also here tonight, works with us part-time. And so between the three of us, we're providing support to 30 young women. And I want to share with you what some of that individualized time can do. I want to first tell you about Kay. Kay called her Resiliency Center the night before we opened. She had seen a TV interview that I had done on the news, and she called and she said, "How do I get involved?" I think she called, she signed up on the website, for our newsletters, she sent an email, she did everything. And we met, the night before, and then within a few days we met at the Dunkin' Donuts because we have all of our first meetings at the local community shows, coffee shop to remove any power dynamics. When we sat down, we had this conversation. She told me about her struggles and that she had aged out of foster care, and that she had a charge for shoplifting in Baltimore within the following weeks. And we worked together pretty consistently up to this few weeks, and then went with her to Baltimore to go advocate for her in front of the judge. And when we did this, on the hour-long ride, she told me about how when she was in foster care, she was shuffled around in group homes, and she didn't get hygiene products. And so it was no surprise when the court read off her charges: shoplifting, hygiene products. And so in her basket, she had tampons, shampoo, soap, things like that that she had learned to take because that's what she needed. And so when I was able to get in front of the judge and advocate on her behalf, I was able to share, with her permission, a little bit about that. And that day when she left, she had no record. She now has a job, and she's looking forward to going to school in the next semester. And so we're really proud of her because since we've been working together, just the trajectory of the stability of her life has really improved. The other young woman I want to share with you about is Kai. Kai also is in foster care, and though she's almost 23, she'll be 22, almost 23 at the end of this year, she's court committed to Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services. And Kai came to us and she said, she explained she wasn't a U.S. citizen, she was born in Liberia, and that she couldn't get a job. And so we worked with Kai because we knew it was important for her to be job ready for when the time came. But we took her to an immigration lawyer to say, hey, what can we do here? She's in the United States. She needs to be able to work, but she's not a U.S. citizen. And within minutes, the immigration lawyer said, she's a U.S. citizen based on technicality. Imagine being connected to a bureaucratic system for 10 years not knowing whether or not you were a U.S. citizen or not. But that was not the only life-changing event for Kai that day, and that was that she went on to tell the immigration lawyer about how she couldn't get a job and how she couldn't pay for food, she couldn't pay for transportation, and the lawyer said, well, send me your resume and I will look at it and circulate it. And I could see Sarah running to her car to get the resume out of her car as she's telling me the story. And so Sarah went and got the resume, she ran back, she gave it to Kai handed it to the immigration lawyer. The lawyer reviewed it and hired her on the spot.
Wow.
So not only did she find out she was a U.S. citizen in one day, and then she got a job, she's also started college at Montgomery Community College this fall, and she's tutoring with Sarah to take the ASVAB for an entrance exam to the Air Force pretty soon. So this is just like the individualized time and attention that I'm talking about. I'm almost finished here, and the last thing I want to share is that I used to come to people and I used to ask for you to support a vision for her Resiliency Center, to believe in that I had the capacity to lead an organization, which I have to say, since opening in February, we've gotten 3 grants, and we've hired our first full-time person, and so I think we're on a pretty good track there. But, you know, tonight, and now when I talk to supporters, I don't ask you to support a vision. I ask you to support the women we serve, because Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, we are providing support to some of DC's most vulnerable young women, and I'm telling you, we are leaps and bounds ahead of where a lot of other organizations would be, and we are really giving them what they need every day, the support, passion, and kindness. So thank you.